Minutes with McNabb.
How you doing? This is Sean McNabb from Minutes with McNabb. My guest this week, the incomparable Toshi Yanagi, Jimmy Kimmel's guitar player. Hear about a day in the life on the Jimmy Kimmel Show on the next Minutes with McNabb.
Minutes with McNabb.
Welcome to Minutes with McNabb, Mr. Toshi Yanagi, an incredible guitar player, producer, and the guitar player on the Jimmy Kimmel Band. Welcome to Minutes with McNabb, Toshi.
Hi, thanks for having me, Sean.
I sure appreciate you doing this today, and I know that you were feeling the effects of your second COVID shot, so I hope you're feeling better.
Much better today. Thank you. Yesterday, no, but today, yes. Feel good.
I totally get it. I had mine a couple of weeks ago, and I totally get that. Welcome to Minutes with McNabb. I want to talk, about a few things today, but really, why don't you tell me about growing up in Japan and how you decided you wanted to come to the States, and tell me about your musical background and starting in Japan.
Okay. Well, my parents are both classical musicians. My dad is opera singer, and my mom is piano teacher, accompanist of my dad. And since I was born, music is always a part of me. My parents used to whip me to play piano and singing, you know. Um, I really didn't love it because of that. So I said I wanted to get away from piano, and I said, "Hey, Mom, can I play? I'm going to play violin." So I studied violin, and my mom said, "Oh, if you play violin, piano is such an important part of your ear." So I had to end up playing both instruments, Stupid of me. So classical music is just a big part of my life, and I joined orchestra when I was 11, 10, maybe. But at the meantime, my dad gave me a transistor radio and a little mono cassette player. I used to record a Japanese military-based radio station that played all the rock music. So I used to put those together and record it. So that was my introduce of rock music since I was like 8 or something. So I was doing both of them. I was listening to rock music while I was playing, classical music. And the time came maybe junior high. Yeah, I bought my first electric guitar and started transcribing Iron Maiden. So that was, my younger age transition of a classic.
How cool is that? Because I was a big Iron Maiden fan too, and what a great band! What are they? 40 years? They've been kind of ruling the world, doing what they do. But so you got the guitar. You were listening. I mean, was it the Beatles and the Stones? And after that,
I was listening Beatles, and I guess the artist that I didn't know from that radio station. And I later found out there was Eagles or the Zeppelin or the Allman Brothers, even. But it really struck me to play guitar was, of course, Eddie Van Halen and Steve Lukather from Toto. That's two of my ultimate mentor.
And you couldn't have better mentors with those guys, and we'll touch on that in a little bit. You know what I love about you is that you're so well rounded, and I found this that either you're a great classical musician that can't jam, or you're a great musician that can jam but can't play classical music. And I always thought that was cool that you can do both. You know, like a lot of classical musicians, they're married to the charts and stuff, but you bring both. And I also see that your kids are following in your footsteps and playing classical music, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you got a beautiful family. But how did you find that balance, you know, between the two?
Basically, I quit classical music when I when I was 15. There was orchestra. I was in a Junior Philharmonic, Tokyo Junior Philharmonic, the orchestra group. There was a chance to go to Europe, and I wasn't really into it, you know, so I didn't really practice for the audition for that tour, and I was playing half-ass, and and she said, you know, she was kind of pointing at me like, you need to practice. Why didn't you practice? Blah blah blah. And I said, okay, that's it. This is it. And I quit right then. You know, right after audition, I said, this is it. I'm out. Goodbye. And that's the last of classical music for me. And then I was more for popular or rock music. Yeah, since I was 15.
Nice.
But I play violin for the people that needs a part in their song, and I can do it at home, only at my house, so I can take a time, and I can't say myself, you know, go to a different studio and do the violin part, but you know, right here I can do it. Yes, so I still play violin sometimes. Yeah.
And you know, I hear that in your playing sometimes, and I think I feel like I hear it in Eric Johnson's playing too. I don't know if he was a violin player, but I hear that in your licks sometimes, that violin influence. But I know that not only are you a great guitar player, but you're an amazing producer and arranger. And
Me?
yeah, man, and I want to thank you because the tags on our show here, you know, you helped me with immensely and just brought these amazing guitars too, and really helped me turn those. And I want to thank you for that. So if you're listening to these musical interludes in and out of the Minutes with McNabb shows, Toshi Yanagi has a huge part to do with that, and I'm forever grateful for that. So anyway,
Thanks for
Toshi,
having me.
yeah, brother. Oh man, it's my honor. And so tell me about coming to LA, and I know you've been here a long time, and what that was like.
So I was my parents had I was practicing for to get in Japanese music university in Japan. My parents were teaching me to preparing for that test, but I wasn't really into it, and they saw that and they said, "So what really you want to do?" You know, and I think I want to play guitar. So then my mom gave me a one-way ticket, China Airline, from Tokyo to San Francisco. Bam. So good luck. That was okay. I didn't know anybody. I could not speak English at all. Maybe hello and I'm hungry. Those are the two words that I knew.
Okay.
Yeah. So that my parents definitely had balls to do that. You know, I have to give it up. I really appreciate that they did for me. You know.
Yeah, that's like, you know, good luck, you know, and
Yeah.
that's almost completely rock and roll. Is you just got to jump in and have some
Yeah.
faith, and
Yeah.
I love that they did that for
Yeah.
you. So I know that, you know, I want to talk about Kimmel and everything, but tell me what led up to Kimmel. And I know that was not your first TV show. I know that there was several before that, but how'd you get into that?
Well, after Musicians Institute, I went, and
MI.
after that, yeah, and I became freelance. I was teaching there for 6 months, and I became a freelance musician, and I started playing at the Big Potato in North Hollywood, and that's became a how to say, connecting with the different musicians.
That was your networking.
And networking, yes.
Yes.
And there's a band called Cecilia Noel and the Wild Clamps. That all the Kimmel Band met in that band, like '92. Yeah, and
Cecilia Noel
but
and
it,
Wild Clan.
yeah, yes. There's all the studio guys, in town, getting together. Anyway, so I start doing local gigs. That led to, do you want to do this little tour with this new artist, Savory Polydor artist? And I opened up for Sheryl Crow and Brian M&M in Europe, or we did a tour in Canada. And at the time, I also I was playing with Terry Lynn Carrington, the a lady drummer.
Okay.
Excellent. I mean, legend player. But anyway, she was having me playing her band. Then in '96, this first TV show, it's called the Vibe TV, which is Quincy Jones' magazine called The Vibe. That became a TV show. And the band, they wanted to have a demographically correct, band. And so Afro-Americans, Asians, and Latino and white. So I was the Asian part of the band. So that's the first one, and that finished in a year. And the percussionist Peter Michael Escovedo, which is Sheila's brother, he became a musical director of the Martin Short Show, the Canadian comedian, the Martin Short.
Yeah.
And so he pulled me into that band, and that falls in ear, and he got another daytime TV show called Wayne Brady Show.
Sure.
Wayne Brady Show, and he pulled me on to that one. So during that Wayne Brady daytime TV show, my friend Cleto, you know Cleto Escovedo, right?
Yeah, sure do.
And Cleto called me and Jeff Babco, the keyboard player. I got this late night TV show that's starting. Can you guys, come and help me? I never done this before. And we said, late night versus daytime, let's give a shot in a late night. So we hopped on 2003. And Wayne Brady Show finished 6 months later, and we still here 18 years later. So that's how.
Amazing. And it's a lot of the core group, a lot of the same guys, right?
Yes.
So that's really cool that it started with some people and then it kind of snowballed into other things. So tell me about the average day at the Jimmy Kimmel Show, and I know things have been different with COVID, and and I also have so much respect for Jimmy just to keep it going and keep you guys working, and I think a lot of hosts probably that really shows his character and his love for you guys. But tell me, run it down for me on an average day, what your day would be like on the Jimmy Kimmel Show.
So we go in there around 11 o'clock. We attend Jimmy's rehearsal, and for 1 hour or something, and then the band rehearsal time. We pick and choose what song to play that day. Maybe a few covers and a few originals, and walk on music when the guest comes on, and So we rehearse for whatever time that we need, and also sometime if the artist needs a backup band, and we accompany those artists. So we
Yeah.
rehearse. Sometimes we rehearse with them and stuff. Then if there is a like a comedy bit or some the video stuff that needs a background music, we sometimes record for those. Bit up in our room. We have a studio there, so we record those music, or we can go out and do something and come back. We just be ready by 4:30, and show starts around 5 for 1 hour.
Nice. And what are some of the highlights and the guests that have just stick in your mind that were just like, wow, that was really cool? And because I'm sure there's been many on that show.
Oh
As
man,
biggest names, yeah.
uh, playing with Billy Gibbons. He sat in with
Yeah.
us. That was great. It's
The
such a
Reverend.
easygoing, great music, And also Maceo Parker. Do you know
Oh yeah, yeah,
Maceo Parker,
yeah.
saxophone player from? Oh man, that was some culture shock. Um, it just one saxophone player just lead us like pulling us like this, just groove wise, and it was amazing. Just the experience that he had, and just show that to us. That was definitely a learning thing. And one time, there's a one time I was so the first TV show we were playing with James Brown, Mr. Brown,
Nice.
and
Mr. Brown.
we were like, yeah, Mr. Brown, yes, man. Uh, we were playing Sex Machine, jet, 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 and he said, hold on, guitar player, and damn it, what did I do? Like he called my name and play like shagga that shagga that shagga that shagga part I wasn't playing or something. So then I said, okay, man, everybody froze up, like, hey, Tosh, you got to play it right, So, but we were fine after that. That was, yeah, that experience. I was like sweating,
Hey, who
but it
can
was good,
say?
good memory.
Not everybody can say I got called out by James Brown, and I got a great James Brown story when I was. I think I was 20, and we
Yeah,
played this festival in Japan. It was called Japan A2,
yeah.
and James. It was all these cool bands, Quiet Riot and Dio, and James Brown and George Duke, and all.
That's awesome.
Yeah, concerts used to be like that. There used to be more diversity on the bills instead of just like all these
Yeah.
rock bands. But it was really cool, and I'll never forget this. My singer in Quiet Riot at the time, the great Paul Shortino, he sees James Brown, and he runs up, "Hey, James, you're my biggest inspiration, man. I just love everything you do." And this security guy stands right in front of him and goes, "That's Mr. Brown to you, son." And you just saw him like shrink, and I'll never forget that as long as I live. And I did get
Yeah.
to meet him also once at the Rainbow Bar and Grill during the day. For some reason or another, he was in there, and he said hi. And James Brown is just the epitome of groove, soul, and funkiness, and that's really cool that you got to do that. But I bet for a minute there you were like, "Oh shit!"
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, the band guys are like Greg Fillingans from and Terry and
Yeah,
the name guy
Stevie
was like,
Wonder.
yeah, and the name those guys are even like like frozen up, and Mr. Brown,
Yeah,
So I was shaken up, but it was a good experience.
that's
So great.
cool. you were also there, and I know this. You were also there when Van Halen played, and were
Yeah.
you on the side of the stage when Roth cut his nose open and all that stuff?
Oh yeah, I was there. Yes.
Run that down for people that don't know.
Well, so they were doing sound. No, they were doing. Yeah, they were playing Panama, and when he was doing this, then he spliced his nose like this, and
Now,
because
was
he
it a
was bleeding.
sword? What did he cut
No,
himself? The mic
no,
stand?
it was some kind of a mic stand that has a sharper edge or something. Just then, and he said, then he went backstage, and Eddie. Well, no, he said, hey, I cut my nose, so let me stitch it or like patch it up or something. So, but the best part was during that time when he was back there for like maybe 10 minutes, Eddie and everybody else started jamming. That that jamming was so good because it was just jam, and it was very creative and
Impromptu.
like yeah, that was so cool.
Yeah.
And I still got it in my phone, but yeah,
Nice.
I'll show it to you sometime.
Oh, please do.
Yeah,
And that
and
leads me. Go ahead.
yes. Then between the show and the rehearsal, uh, I could come up and meet Eddie and those guys, and I could shake his hand, and I could say thank you for the experience, whatever. I was so starstruck, but you know, at least I could talk to him and express my appreciation. That was a highlight,
Oh, absolutely.
since
And
yeah,
we know that he changed the face of probably the most influential guitar player since Jimi Hendrix. He
yes,
really changed the face of rock guitar, and that's cool that you
yeah,
were able to meet your hero. Which leads me to my next question: is I know that you are a super Eddie fan, and also you've studied it, and I know how well you can play it because we share this band called Brown M&Ms, which
yeah,
we're not a tribute band. We are just four guys in the industry catching the vibe of early Van Halen. And
yes.
uh, tell me about Brown M&Ms because, dude, you just kill it, and I can
Well,
just
you too.
tell the passion that you have for Van Halen and Eddie's guitar playing. But tell us about Brown M&Ms.
Um, a just some that was one of my how to say bucket list to do, play it right, the Van Halen music, and you, Joe, Travis, and Eric Dova. I mean, it's the best musicians that I could do it with, and we did one show, right, the whiskey, and
Yeah.
that was I think that was pretty good, and we caught vibe of early Halen, and that was a right place to do it.
I was young and I was far from lonely. Feeling that way for a long, long year. Need a girl to call my one and only. It's that you. You think you got the interest? Come on and take the time. 'Cause you know I wanna be yours and
Yeah, and if
Hopefully we'll
anybody
do more.
anybody's
Yeah,
interested in seeing that, there's some videos from that whiskey gig. Unfortunately, COVID hit and kind of shut everything down for us playing
yeah,
live shows for about a year and a half now.
right,
But we've got several videos out on
yeah,
YouTube, so check out Brown M&Ms if you love Van Halen, which who doesn't love Van Halen?
please.
And
Yeah.
most specifically, watch Toshi Yanagi just tear these guitars up and in a tribute to one of his heroes. It is an honor to do that with you, my friend. It
Oh,
is.
thank you.
And much more to come on that now. Okay, I have a couple of just one more quick question, then I'm going to have the rapid fire 5, which is something that we do. It's
What's
just
that?
5 questions that you answer, very short answers, and we're going to get to that. But I wanted to ask you about this one thing. How cool is it that the first Japanese guy in history won the Masters the other week, and that just
Oh yeah.
make
Woohoo!
you very proud, huh?
Oh yeah. And entire Japan, I think, proud of him. And it's
Absolutely.
it's a something. And this is his 10th time trying.
Right.
So yeah, I really, really am proud of him. Kept it going, and yeah,
Yeah,
so good.
I am too. I watch golf, and some people think that's lame, but my wife being one of them. But I find it peaceful to watch. I've played a little bit. I'm not very good, but I love to watch the pros, and I find there's some serenity to watching golf on Sundays. And you're watching the best
Yeah,
players in the world, and to see him win that by one stroke, and not
yeah,
that's a lot of pressure. When you're putting for the Masters Championship, that's that's no joke. And I was so happy to see him win that. That was awesome.
yeah.
Okay. That being said, we're going to do the full throttle rapid fire 5, which is something I do with
Okay.
all my. Some of the questions are mine, some are the producers. So with that
Okay.
caveat, who has been who has been the most influential to you, Toshi?
Well, Eddie Van Halen.
And I know you mentioned Steve Lukather too.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Both are my ultimate mentor.
Yeah.
Yes, Luke
Couldn't
is a
agree more.
great friend too. He's a good advisor, and
Yeah. And friend,
Good.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Can I tell you a quick Luke story?
Absolutely.
Or no?
Yeah.
So I was a big fan, right? And so 92 through 94 or 5, 3 years, 5. I was playing at the Big Potato every Monday. So one of Monday, here comes Luke, and sit right in front of me. And I was shaken up and like, oh shit, And I was, okay, I have to play right, and in between the song, I was kind of doing kind of noodling, blah, 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 noodling stuff. And he goes like, none of that shit. He just kind of whispered and, oh shit, you know. But during the night, I was drinking, I remember, Grand Marnier on the rocks. And when I finish it, there's a new one comes up, and who's buying these? And I didn't know, so another one goes and comes right up, and I see Luke, and he's drinking the same thing. So he was apparently buying my drink, and at the end of the night, and he said, "Hey, come on, Tosh, come sit here," and he gave me his number. And he told me when you have a problem, just call me, and we became friends after that.
That's really cool.
Nice.
And for people that don't know, the
Yeah.
Baked Potato is this establishment that's been around a long, long time. I don't quote me on the year. It's been since the
70, it's 72 or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's this little tiny kind of jazz fusion, but they have all kinds of music. But it's a tiny little club, and the biggest of big names have played there. Everybody, Alan Holdsworth, all the jazz people, Abraham Laboriel,
Yeah.
Chick Corea's played there, right? I mean,
Yeah.
everybody. Stanley Clark,
Yeah.
Toshi. the Toto guys. You know, the list just goes on, and they have these giant baked potatoes. It's called the baked potato, by the way.
Yeah,
And they have giant baked potatoes that I'm telling you, these things, it looks like a football. And
yeah,
you have whatever you want on top of it for the most part. And
yeah.
but it's really an institution for great musicianship is what you're going to see
Working
when you
musician and
yeah,
very good place to connect with the different musicians, working musicians too. So
absolutely. And it's one of those places that you know, a lot of venues have struggled this last year because of COVID, and that is certainly
yeah,
one of them, along with, you know, the Troubadour and the Whiskey and the Roxy and everything here in Los Angeles. But I know all over the world those venues have struggled. So these are very important venues that we need
yes,
to support.
support.
Uh,
It start
especially,
opening up. Start
yeah,
opening up. Having they're doing a 3 days a week now, and half of a capacity or something like that. I can't remember how much, but if you've got a time or you can support them or go in there or I think they still do how do you say live broadcast
live streaming,
internet how do you say? Yeah,
live
stream.
streaming. Yes, yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah, so do
thank
what
you.
you can to support these venues because you know these are places that we've got are absolutely essential to musicians and to people
Yeah,
that love music. And you know, I think at the end of the day, music is very healing for people, and
yes,
we really need that right now as
yes.
a society. I
I'll
think.
I'll be there. I'll be there May 27th with Jamie Kime with Danny Carey from Tool, and also June 2nd. June 2nd. Sorry, June. I think June. Uh, June 4th. June 4th with Stuart Ham
Oh,
at the
nice.
Big Potatoes. If you
We'll
guys
check those
could
guys
come up.
out at the baked potato. Okay, back to the full throttle rapid fire
Yeah.
five
Sorry.
questions.
Yes.
No problem. I love that story. I know that you're, you know, musically diverse in so many areas and such a great producer and arranger. But I mean, what's your favorite kind of music, or some of your favorite kind of music to play?
To play.
Yeah,
Um, rock and roll.
yeah, baby.
That's my favorite music. Period. But
Right on.
I have to do, you know, R&B or the funk, pop music to
Yeah.
support, you know. So yeah.
Now, I know there's nothing that you can't do, and I love that. And I always admired that about
Oh, I
musicians that
cannot do it.
were well rounded. You know,
I
it's good,
try.
and I think it's always helps you to get gigs to be well rounded. You know, and I think it's very important. Okay, so if there was one word associated with you that you wanted people to associate with Toshi Yanagi, what would it be?
Well, that I don't understand. What is it? Associate?
If there, yeah, if there was one word that you wanted to for people to think of when they thought of Toshi Yanagi, what would it be?
Japanese? I'm just kidding. Sorry. I don't know. Like, like, I give me an example. Sorry.
Like great guitar player, nice guy.
No. I don't know.
All right,
Dorky? I don't know.
I, I stumped him. Okay,
Yeah, I don't know.
let's see.
That I don't
Let's
know.
see. All right, this is a producer question. I got to ask you: who's the most famous person in your phone right now?
Phone?
Yes,
Uh, Jimmy Kimmel? Or I
perfect.
don't know. Yeah. Sheila E.
Nice.
Um,
I don't think he gets much
you
bigger
look
than
at
Kimmel. Yeah, and he just seems like such a cool dude. Toshi.
Oh, Jimmy is the best, coolest, such a thoughtful person. You know, sometimes he cries on the TV. That's how he is. Just
That's real, huh?
sincere. And we all love him and appreciate
Yeah,
him.
yeah. And I think people get that sense from him that he's a real host. It's not phony. It's all real, and I feel like he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's that kind of dude.
He goes through everything that happens to the show. That's how he is. Such a responsible producer, and
Yeah,
that's why I think we're here now. You know.
yeah. Well, Toshi, I want to thank you for your time with Minutes with McNabb today, and
Thank you, Sean.
let us know where we can find you. Everybody, Toshi Yanagi, guitar player, producer, and my friend. Thanks for joining me
Thank
today,
you,
brother.
Sean. All right, I'll see you soon.
God bless.